Howdy, folks. Welcome to the October edition of Cattle Trails Showcase. I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate. Mighty glad to be your host. Today, we're going to be zooming to Ellsworth, Kansas, and then to Yukon, Oklahoma, to learn about the exciting Chisholm Trail events coming up next week. I have a different logo behind me because we are excited about the conference just 1 week from today. The purpose of the Cattle Trails Showcase is to continually highlight the communities, historical elements, museums, and other attractions along the Chisholm and the Western Trail. Showcase is brought to you by the International Chisholm Trail Association, of which Dennis Katzenmeyer is president, Michael Grauer is vice president, Nancy Lawrence is secretary, and Mary Lou Rivers is treasurer, and Lonnie Stephen is our showcase chair. So folks, 1 week from today, wow, it's here, is our annual Chisholm Trail Conference, and it'll be held at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. Michael Grauer, who is the McCaslin Chair for Cowboy Culture and curator of Western art at the museum, is our host at the museum in Oklahoma City. He can't be on our call today. He's giving a talk at the Kansas City Museum, but he'll be with us next week, and as he and others have lined up a really terrific program for the conference. To give the official invitation to the conference, let me call upon our International Chisholm Trail Association president, Dennis Katzenmeyer. Dennis, if you would unmute and give us the official invitation. He's trying to unmute.
How's that?
Better, great.
Okay. Well, this is very, very, very exciting. We have had our conferences in the past at Old Cowtown Museum in Wichita. They've done a fantastic job for us. They did 2 years straight. In the past, we've been to Fort Worth, and we've been to Duncan, I think, at one time, and even Lubbock, Texas. So we're venturing back to the state of Oklahoma. And very excited about it, especially our venue, the National Cowboy and Heritage, Western Heritage Museum. And Michael's just been absolutely fantastic to work with us. Very, very cordial and very fun to put it together. We've cut it back a little bit this year. It kind of started with COVID because we did some Zooms, and we're still doing a Zoom as part of the event. But we cut it back to just a day event rather than a 2 or a 3 day like we've done in the past. Other than we have added the Cowboy Chisholm Trail Festival in Yukon as part of our line of entertainment. And we're really excited about that. That worked out just fantastic. And we'll have Doug talking about that here in just a few minutes. The conference is October the 14th. We will have a preview tour of the first American museum. It should be quite interesting. We invite you all to be involved in that. It is part of the conference. It's just prior to us actually getting started. We will, and of course, I was asking Ron if we had some photography, and I'd asked Michael to send me some shots of the Cowboy Hall of Fame so we could share some of that with you folks. And if Ron can get something together, we might have something to show you of that museum. But excellent facility, lots of artifacts and art to take a look at. Just that in itself, and Michael's going to give us a special tour of the museum. So that in itself is well worth coming to the conference. We'll have plenty of time to go through the museum. It means the conference is as short as it is. So that's number one draw, I would like to say. We will then turn around and get into the meeting part of it. We've got the executive director of the Oklahoma Historical Society, the greeting, and we might have him speak a few other words along the way. We'll see how his time works out. Then we're going to go into And that'll be at lunchtime while we're having lunch. It'll be kind of our kickoff. From there, we'll go into attractions, communities, what's going on in the area. Ron just switched the screen on me, so now I got to squint.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. I was reading over your shoulder. Of course, the age I am, I can't remember all this. So that should be quite interesting. We'll go. Can you switch that back, Ron?
What do you need?
There you go, right there. Okay. We'll have our congressional legislation update. We were working on have one of our legislators available, but it's kind of fallen through on us, so we don't know what kind of representation we're going to have there. We'll be talking about the communities, tourism on the trail, and our partnership with the National Park Service. We've had some of the Park Service people on in our past conferences. We've chose not to ask any of them in. We got awards to hand out to some important people that we're going to present. We will have an annual meeting, election of officers, of course. And then we got some award-winning stories and that cowboy gear speakers coming in to talk to us. Ron, if you would, when I kind of get done sharing the highlights, if you want to get into details, that would be great. Ron's been very active in putting this together along with Michael. So then after that, we will get a tour of the National Cowboy Hall of Fame Heritage Museum. And then help me here, we're gonna take a personal trip to a dining hall after the conference as a group. It's not part of the conference, but it's going to be the fun part of the conference. Can you tell me what's the name of that facility?
McClintock's.
Yes.
McClintock's Chop House, whatever it is.
Yeah, very highly recommended by Michael Grauer. So when he recommends something, it's usually well worth attending. So that will be fun. Then from there, who knows where we go, but we'll lay over. We bought our bed rolls with us. So I'm not sure where we're going to roll them out at, and then the next morning we're going to take off. We do have to make a stop at the Oklahoma City Stockyards. They're having a little bit of a celebration. So on our way to see the Chisholm Trail Festival, we'll stop there and visit. And then we're really excited to join up with the group down there in Yukon. And Doug is going to really give us a tour, and hopefully we can maintain ourselves good enough we get back to Kansas at the end of the day. So that's kind of a briefing of what we're doing. We want everybody to come join us. We just think it's going to be a very exciting event with all the stuff that's put together. So please join the International Chisholm Trail Association in our conference in Oklahoma City.
Thanks, Dennis. I will call up the agenda. Sorry for the fine print. I might say a word about the First Americans Museum. That is, we are told that is the largest single building tribal cultural center in the country. So it is interesting. So there's a pre-conference tour at the First Americans Museum. And that is on your own. So you'll pay admission at the door, whoever is present. And then the conference itself begins over at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, as Dennis said. He's really covered the outline. We'll get background about Montford Johnson, the Chickasaw rancher, amazing story. It even became the inspiration for a movie. And then the modern day artisans that are producing authentic cowboy gear. Michael has lined this up with the Traditional Cowboy Arts Association. They're listed there on the agenda: saddle makers, spur makers, boot makers, hat makers, a braider, and all that will precede the evening social and guided tour. And the bottom line is we have a great conference. It is possible to join by Zoom. We'd love to have you come in person, and we encourage you to register. So you need to go to chisholmtrailassn.com and register online, in person and or Zoom. There's when you go to chisholmtrailassn.com, there is a link for the Chisholm Trail Conference, and you'll need to go online and get your registration in, and we look forward to seeing you there. As Dennis said, we're really excited to partner with the folks in Yukon, Oklahoma. And the timing worked out so that we could schedule our conference in conjunction with their big festival. And Doug Sauter's here to tell us about that. A little bit of background about Doug. Doug grew up with farming and ranching in Saskatchewan, and like all good Canadians, he was also into hockey. Turned into a professional hockey coach and had an outstanding career. A little bit of a rivalry as he coached in West Virginia and then Oklahoma City, and had a rivalry with Wichita. Doug, all is forgiven. We love you anyway. He now manages horses for Express Ranches and is active with the Chisholm Trail Historic Preservation Society, which puts on this huge event, the Chisholm Trail Festival at the Molly Spencer Farm there in Yukon near Oklahoma City. So with that, Doug, please tell us about the events at the Chisholm Trail Festival in Yukon.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity to join your group. Looking forward to your conference and participating on Friday. This festival has been going for a number of years. I think it's about 18 years now. It's held at the Molly Spencer Farm. Molly Spencer was a pioneer here in Yukon and got this land in the land rush, and it has not ever been in anybody else's name. We are run, the farm is run by the Kilpatrick Trust Fund, and then we're a branch off of that as a 501c3 community event. First of all, this is a free event. We did not want to put an admission. We want to invite everyone. Last year, we estimated we had a little over 3,000 people during the Saturday. And of course, you're always at, the weather's discretion, and hopefully we'll have a good day and the rains will come during the night. And it is a beautiful park. It's about 60 acres located right in the middle of Yukon, right on Garth Brooks Boulevard across from the post office. You can't miss it. Getting off of I-40, we're only a half a mile or so off there. It all starts for us on Friday morning. We have a deal here in Yukon called Community Coffee. And every Friday there's a community coffee at a different business. Could be a new business, old business, etc. And it's our turn to host the coffee. And we'll probably have about 200 people from businesses in the Yukon area. Everybody gets to identify themselves and make public announcements. And we serve a good old chuck wagon breakfast with flapjacks and bacon and sausage and coffee made over the fire, and everything's very authentic. So it gives us an ambiance, and we have horses there, guys on horseback, representing our group and being part of it all. That all happens on Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And then during the afternoon, we have a couple of special groups coming through. We're very excited to have the Kansas Cavalry. I was just trying to look up their address and I couldn't find it. Somebody might help me. But they put on 3 different shows through the day. With horsemanship, swordsmanship, shooting, cowboy shooting, or mounted shooting. And they have been here last year, and their response was tremendous. They're a very personal group. They work with the the good folks, and it has been a very great addition to our show. We have wagon rides, we have lots of horses on site, we have longhorns on site. The city of Yukon has a kids corral, everything from the popular face painting to train rides, etc., for the youth, and arts and crafts, and they do a great job with a petting zoo, etc. We do have some merchants for doing some trading, and the organization has give your group one building in our little boardwalk town called Parker Station. Mr. and Mrs. Parker were great advocates of the Chisholm Trail, and they have been missed dearly. And we named one of the little buildings after them, and it explains a little bit about the trails with maps, etc. And we hope you can participate and have some people there telling people about the Chisholm Trail. Of course, we have chuck wagon food available, plus we have a store and a restaurant. Bottles of water are $1. We're not into a situation that we're trying to operate this thing on finance. We naturally have some sponsors, which we appreciate a great deal, but it's a very family oriented business. We have a series of gunfights. The Guthrie gunfighters come and they're mowed and have the old shootout on Main Street in front of the town. We have the Mexican Spanish dancers come in. We also have a stage with other open entertainment for locals to do. So it's quite a day, and I can probably slip away for an hour or so. That if we get the group there and say at 1 o'clock, it's only 3 miles to our Clydesdale barn at Express Ranch. And the Clydesdales are back home. They were down in Texas last weekend, and they're all home. And the Percheron Hitch is in Pennsylvania at their state fair right now, but there's a few of the Percherons still there. We show the Percherons for competition, and we use the Clydesdales, much like Budweiser, to promote Mr. Funk's company, Express Employment Professionals, which is has offices right in Wichita, I know, and probably several of the other spots. And right now, there's over 500,000 people work for Express Employment Services. We have 180 offices in the United States, 49 in Canada, and we have offices in New Zealand now, and Australia, and South America, anywhere they speak English. So that is in the prominent, and then we're the biggest breeders of Angus cattle. Our show barn, we host 7 shows. We just had our fall bull sale, and kind of cleaned up on some females and bred heifers, etc. The sale grossed 1.9 million, and our summer sale grossed 7 million. Altogether this year, we've taken in right around $20 million just from our sales. That's not private treaty. So we are the biggest breeder of Angus cattle, and also we have Herefords. We'll register this year 3,900 Angus cattle and 500 Herefords, and we have a feedlot at Watonga, which is just off the Chisholm Trail, and I think there's 21,000 head in the feedlot. We don't own them all; we feed them out. But the cattle price has been real good the last little while, and hopefully it'll keep strong. The one event we started last year is anytime you go to any one of the vendors, whether it be the blacksmith or the guy that's displaying his guns, or the store, or buy a hot dog, the children will get a wooden nickel from the Chisholm Trail. Once you have, I think it's 7 or 8 nickels, you can go change them in and you get a pumpkin. And last year we gave over 3,000 pumpkins away. And the kids could take their own pumpkin home from the Chisholm Trail Festival and decorate it or whatever at home. And it became so popular last year that we're doing that again. And it's pretty neat to see the kids' faces as they're leaving the Molly Spencer farm with their pumpkin and a smile on their face. So if we can set that tour up, I'd love to do that for you. Anybody that's been by our place, it's probably one of the nicest ranches in the United States. We are a little overboard, but that's the way Mr. Funk wants it. Every day is show day at Express Ranch. So love to show you and whatever interest, and whether there's 4 people or 20 or 40, gladly just take you up the road for a quick 1-hour tour. And we have a beautiful statue right on the Chisholm Trail marker. It was the last marker placed several years ago by I think your committee, and we have markers talking about the trail and about the Express Ranches, and a beautiful statue of Mr. Funk overlooking his ranch. And the title of the monument is called Man of Vision, and that's what Bob had when he came to Oklahoma. So I won't take up any more time. I'll answer any questions or whatever. If you can get out, we'd love to do it. And I'd like to, get involved more with your group here and participate. I've had a long 40 years of being a pro hockey coach, and it's been very good to me. People ask me what my job is at Express Ranches, and I said, I don't know what my job is, but I'm very good at it. So it's a situation that, and I met Dennis last year at Caldwell when I went up with John Rule, and I'm very interested of stealing some ideas, etc. The one idea from Caldwell that we didn't get it quite in, but it was the young paper boys that walk the grounds and have the daily news and give out a schedule of where everything is and a map. And I talked to one Boy Scout group, and they didn't know if they could handle that or not, but that was a great idea at Caldwell that I really enjoyed seeing those young kids. And I think I tipped my guy $5 and for the letter, and I don't know if he had seen a $5 bill before, but he quickly put it in his jeans and went on to the next customer, sort of thing. So thank you for this opportunity. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. And if anybody has questions, we can just meet at the little village and get golf cart rides out to our car and head up to Express Ranch.
Thanks, Doug. That's perfect. The Commanding General's Mounted Color Guard from Fort Riley, Kansas, I think is probably
Right.
the group that's coming down to do the demonstration, and they are really outstanding.
They are great ambassadors. I mean, the interaction that is what I liked
Yes.
with the public. They hung around after their show at the perimeter of the little parade grounds that we make for them, and man, they did a bang up job. All horsemen and from all over North America, or all over United States. So pretty cool outfit to have.
Well, we look forward to that, and it sounds like we have the opportunity, folks, those of us who are at the Chisholm Trail Festival, for a 1 p.m. personal tour at the Express Ranch, particularly the Draft Horse Barn, which is gorgeous, and we look forward to that. I remember there's the statues that Doug described, the statue of Mr. Funk. There's this beautiful, like a gold-plated Chisholm Trail marker as you walk into Molly Spencer Farm for Chisholm Trail Festival. There's a huge stone Chisholm Trail historic marker there as well. So be a great weekend to celebrate the Chisholm Trail. Doug, we do have a question in the chat, and that is, tell us about Mr. Funk. We know that he's the founder of Express Personnel, and that's led him into these other pursuits, including Express Ranches, right?
Well, Mr. Funk was born and raised in Duval, Washington. And there was just one thing that came out of Duval, Washington. It was Coronation milk. So there was a lot of dairies in that area. And Bob worked on his uncle's dairy, and he always wanted to be a farmer. That's all he wanted to do. But life took him from Seattle University to doing his thesis in religion and theology at Edinburgh University, and he got his master's there. And he came back, and his uncles had always told him that they would give him first opportunity to buy their dairy. And when he came back after being away for 2 years, some other family members got in there and bought it. And Bob was so disappointed. He vowed someday that he would have his own ranch and farm. And man, does he have a ranch and farm. And total acreage is about 260,000 acres, with our big place out on the at Cimarron called the UU Bar, right beside Philmont Boy Scout Camp. And of course, Vermeil is up there where Ted Turner has 500,000 acres, and there's the CS Ranch, etc. So we still have that ranch, although Mr. Funk sold it and he leased it back for the rest of his life. Bob is 82 years old. Unfortunately, he had a bad operation on his back. They tried to help him the best he can, and he's pretty well been had to stay at home the last 6 months, 8 months or so. Works out of his office at home. He's very sharp, but his back is just giving him all kinds of fits, sort of thing. So I spend a lot of time with him. I chauffeur him around a little bit. We call it driving Miss Daisy. He doesn't really appreciate that very much, but if you see a beautiful car out in the end of a parking lot, I'm trying to think what a Bentley. They're only worth about 180,000. That's me at the end of the parking lot, making sure nobody opens their door on me. And so I have enjoyed Bob. I became friends when I came here to coach the Blazers in 1995. I got him to buy the hockey club. At one time, we owned the AAA baseball team called the Red Hawks. We own the 2 soccer teams, one in Tulsa and one here in Oklahoma City. We're very involved with bull riding, PBR, and we have all the Wright family and Don and Kay Rule wear our Express Blue at the NFR. So Bob believes in the Western culture. He believes in the code of the West. If you use it, put it back. If it's not yours, don't take it, etc. And hopefully we could get him involved a little bit, because he is so proud of the Chisholm Trail going right through Express Ranch. That Mr. Bob Clemmy, of course, was the man behind that, and a lot of you knew Bob. He was a wonderful man, and he gave Bob the idea in 1999 of putting the marker, the last marker, the crowd going across Oklahoma, and he gold leafed it. So it's a pretty special place, and it's very surreal. You look down on the Canadian River. That used to be the toughest river that the trail went across because of the highs and lows with floods, etc. And there is a few cowboys lost their life. And if you go down, you can kind of see the ruts. We say that, you know, they were made by the Chisholm Trail, probably a dirt bike. But for those people that don't know very much about history, they think they've saw the wagon wheels go across the Canadian River.
Oh gosh, that's really tremendous what Mr. Funk and you have all accomplished. I just got my National Cattlemen's Beef Association magazine. I was leafing through it, and and there was a listing of the top, I think it was the top seed stock cattle producers in the country, and Express Ranches was #1. So
Yes, Bob likes to be #1. That's why we have the Percherons now. We had Clydesdales for, well, 20 years and won the national competition, but we couldn't beat the Percherons. So Bob says if we can't beat them, we better join them. So we have a tremendous hitch of Percherons now, and our wheel horses are 19-1 and they weigh 2,300 pounds. So there's some big boys there.
it takes some big horseshoes and some and quite a bit of feed to take care of those boys.
Doug, I'd like to make a comment to you. I was at Express Ranch when we did that final setting of that Chisholm Trail marker. And you had a lot of celebrities there and a lot of activities. And I'll tell you, an experience I went through, I was in the process of building a fence on my ranch. And when I got there, you got this very, very long fence leading down the lane into the ranch. And my partner I had with me, I go, this really ticks me off that I cannot put up this kind of a fence at my place. So very impressive. It was a very great celebration. The little cattle drive up to the site was good. In fact, I got some pictures of the dedication to it and stuff.
Really?
I might have to see if I can drag them out and maybe show them to you when we come down.
Yeah, Dale Robertson and Jane Russell and
yes,
they're all there. I told the guys yesterday, Jane Russell was 80 years old and she was still using a cross your heart bra. I think she invented it.
That's a memory that has stayed with Doug for a long time. You can tell.
I got the point.
Oh gosh, Tom Hawk asked about the music stage at the Chisholm Trail Festival, and you have live music entertainment throughout the day, in addition to all the reenactors and all the other activities going on, right, Doug?
Well, we try to have a complete day that makes it a family experience, and the price is right, and we do have golf carts for people that have disabilities to get them in on site, and we'll help them as much as they can. And we have wagon rides that go around the ranch, and the kids, it's one of the favorite. There's always a lineup for that, etc. And I take some of my ponies and the rest of my saddle horses, and I have ambassadors riding around, letting people know what's going on, and picture opportunities. And it's a hand-on deal. It's it's not something where you have to stand back 6 feet. If you're brave enough to get up close, you can pet a horse or pet a cow or whatever, sort of thing. So,
hey, Doug.
Doug,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I sing cowboy and western music and yodel. And how do you get on them? How do you get on the program in the music stage?
Well, you just send a resume to us, and we'll consider it. Without, I have a little horse. His name is Tony. He's the yodeling pony, I call him, and he can't perform tonight because he's a little horse.
Can you,
Hey, Doug.
can you put in the chat room? Can you put your address?
Yeah. Okay. We'll get you all that info. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Doug, this is Steve Myers in Fort Worth, Texas.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, how can we contact you? Do you have a phone number we could call or email?
Yeah, you can just call me personally, and then I can direct things. Area code 405-613-5588.
Great. And I was at that dedication at the Express Ranch also.
Yes.
In fact, Jane Russell was sitting right next to me on my right side at the table, and my wife was sitting on the other side, and Stuart Whitman was there.
Right.
Dale Robertson and his wife were there, and all the cowboys and cowgirls that I grew up watching on the movies and on TV were there. And it was a great, great day, and they enjoyed it. I never saw a tent that big with all those chuck wagons until I got there, and put on a really nice show and really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. A lot of people enjoyed that. We had the cavalry there as well, and
Right.
a group of Longhorns, I think from Chain Ranch, and Bob likes to do things right. And we had a great festival right on the ranch. I guess the year before COVID in 2018, and the weathermen in Oklahoma just absolutely spoiled it for us. They just kept telling people how it was going to be stormy and hurricane and tornadoes and everything else, and they talked a lot of people out of going, and it wasn't a bad day at all, but we only had probably 2,000 people, and we were expecting 4,000. And we did the drive through the ranch, starting in Texas with people from Texas, and then all the way up to Kansas with the Duncan people and the Enid people, etc., all participating. And it was a real clever day, and it was a beautiful display, and the weathermen just tore our heart out. Yeah, I'm still mad at them. Sort of like referees.
One of the things I've noticed here at Fort Worth is becoming the rodeo cowboy capital, and they're trying to get their rodeo from Las Vegas here to Fort Worth. And I
Right.
noticed a lot of the rodeo cowboys are wearing the Express Ranch logo
Right.
on their clothing.
Right.
Do you have any comments on that? How big is that?
Well, we have all the Wright family, all the bronc riders. Three of them I made the finals, and Donna K. Rule is a local girl. She's number 2 in the barrel racing, and you guys will meet her husband Friday afternoon. He's a saddle maker, and he did the statue of Bob and does a lot of wonderful, tremendous pieces of art. And I went with John, and we set up at Caldwell a couple of years ago. So, and it's the same. We have about 12 PBR cowboys as well that wear our logo and ride for the brand, sort of thing. And we've cut back over the years. The Etbauers, of course, were our first guys, Billy and Robert and the youngest one. And they all rode with Express on. So if you see a blue shirt, usually it'll have Express on it. And it's just one way of Bob giving back to these cowboys. He thinks that they're very underpaid, probably just like they were during the Chisholm Trail. And they have no union. They're on their own, sort of thing, and he tries to help them out as best he can.
Great.
Well, that's terrific. Great memories of that event, and we look forward to another fantastic event. So we encourage you to register for the Chisholm Trail Conference. We'll do business. We'll have Doug with us Friday afternoon, October 14, and then admission is free for the Saturday events. So we invite you to join us for the fun.
I think they have a gunfight at noon, so at 1 o'clock would be a good time, and everybody could disperse from the Clydesdale barn if they don't want to go back to the the festival and want to head home. So you'd be heading home around 2 o'clock, 2:15, something like that, and easy access to all the freeways and everything else to get out of town.
Super. All right. Well, how about a big round of applause for Doug Sauter?
Not a problem. I enjoyed it very much. We're on our way camping and doing an overnight trail ride. So
great.
We're loaded and ready to go.
Good deal. Great. Have a good time with that, and we'll look forward to seeing you a week from today.
Yep. All right.
Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Doug.
Goodbye, guys.
Thanks, Doug, and everybody. We are going to have a Chisholm Trail Board discussion at the conclusion of this call, and you all are welcome to join us. This will conclude our showcase for this month. So we look forward to seeing you online, or we hope in person, a week from today in at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City, then at the Chisholm Trail Festival in Yukon, and then join us back online for our Cattle Trails Showcase in November.
Ron, this is Lonnie. Hey, we might add about the hotel, if anybody hasn't made their reservations. Nancy, it's a Home 2 Suites in Yukon, I believe.
Right, a Home 2 Suites in Yukon. I got the information here somewhere. Anyway, they are giving us a special rate. You need to get a hold of them soon because they weren't holding a lot of rooms, but they said that if we went over the amount of rooms we had requested, they would go ahead and do, if they had rooms. Let me look at that, see if I got that real quick.
Ron, will it be a board meeting after this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it's a Home 2 Suites. If anybody's interested, the phone number is 405-265-0999. Again, it's 405-265-0999. They were giving us a special rate until October 14th. No, that's the day we're going, isn't it? The cutoff was September 23rd, but she said that if anybody called, say you're with the Chisholm Trail Conference.
Thanks. Thanks, Nancy. And that phone number now is in the chat for your reference.
Okay,
So
good deal.
get your lodging taken care of, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Chisholm Trail Conference a week from today. With that, folks, thanks for joining us to close our program. This is Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate, saying thanks for taking time to join us in this place, and come on back next month for our Cattle Trails Showcase. Happy trails, everyone.
I'm gonna go get another cup of coffee. I'll be right back.